This is Andi for Boxing Social in association with Betfred, and I'm joined by Eddie Hearn. Eddie, from Miami to Sheffield. Yeah. How you doing?
We're here, baby. We're here. It was a great week last week. Great to be here. First show of 2020 in the UK, live on Sky Sports and DAZN. Massive turnout in Sheffield. Big crowd coming on Saturday. Loved the press conference. Loved the fights. Loved the way Kell Brook is speaking. Can he deliver the performance to match the words? We look forward to seeing that on Saturday night.
Let's start working through the card. Obviously, Brook-Deluca. What was the thoughts behind it, and what exactly should we expect from Kell? 14 months without a fight now. Will we expect to see that ring rust?
I believe you will see the ring rust, yeah. I think it's impossible not to see it. I mean, I think when we look at the opponents, we wanted an opponent in the top 15 in the world. I've had Brook-Deluca now on 3 shows. Boxed really well last time out. Fit, strong, good work rate, speaks well, looks good. Nice man. Wanted to give him the opportunity. Kell Brook should be beating Brook-Deluca. If he doesn't, he's finished. You know, but I believe that Kell Brook, the most refreshing thing about Kell Brook is his honesty and the fact that he says, I cut corners. You know, I wasn't disciplined. I didn't live the life. I know that because I saw it for 10 years. But once you admit that to yourself, it's easier to right the wrongs. Let's just hope it's not too late. Because if it's too late, it doesn't matter that you've decided now you should try harder or make weight better. If you're not the same fighter, you're not the same fighter, and you'll get found out. But I believe Kell Brook remains one of the best talents in the world. And if he's still got the ability, this new hunger and drive is going to help him a lot. And I'm excited for the year ahead.
What should we expect from Brook-Deluca then? How exactly do you see the fight playing out?
I think Deluca's a decent counter-puncher, but can also fight going forward. It depends how he feels in the moment. If he's got the confidence, to put it into perspective, Brook-Deluca has been offered 3 or 4 fights recently since he entered the world top 15. One of them was Israel Madrimov, our other guy. I think they looked at Madrimov and went, do you know what? He's young, he's fresh. When the Kell Brook offer come in, they went, yes. They think he's old, they think he's damaged goods, they think he might be shot. So they're taking the opportunity. They know if they beat Kell Brook in the UK, Brook-Deluca is absolutely buzzing. So, but I don't believe that unless Kell is not the same fighter that he once was, I don't see how he can lose to Deluca. But all the questions remain as to if he is still that same fighter.
If Kell's successful, is the plan just to try and get a world title assault? Nobody seems to be claiming the titles for their own at 154.
Biggest fights. I mean, you know, he said tonight, I want to be back on your hot list. You know, I want you to believe in me, and I do believe in him. But when you've been out for a year and you haven't been as disciplined as you should be, it's very easy to get overtaken by fighters that are active and are performing and are disciplined. But I will always have a soft spot for Kell Brook because he was the second fighter I ever signed, and he's been with us for coming up for 10 years. You know, and I'll never forget the night in Sean Porter. I mean, that Sean Porter win looks better and better and better as years goes on. You know, that was a long time ago in Los Angeles, and if he hadn't have got injured, you know, in Tenerife, and then everything started breaking down from there, he should have been unifying divisions. He should have been filling stadiums in the US. But as long as he's still got it, it's not too late.
Just away from Callan onto Kid Galahad facing Morero in a final eliminator. Talking about
really tough fight. Again, a lot of these fights, sometimes when you announce a card, people go, who's Brook-Deluca? Like, who's this geezer? He's useless. Who's Claudio Morero? Do your research. Watch Claudio Morero. He can fight. This is a pure 50-50 fight, Morero against Galahad. Galahad had a close fight with Josh Warrington, who is unquestionably the number one 126 pounder right now in the world, Josh Warrington. And Kid Galahad gave him a really good fight. But I feel like with Kid Galahad, sometimes he's got to be more offensive, right? He's got to stamp his authority on a fight. He's got to try and set his feet and throw big shots and actually do damage. You know, this style that he has is very effective, but it's not going to be fan-friendly. And against an aggressive fighter with good skills as well, they're going to be hard to beat. Morero can box and move and can punch. So I feel like Kid Galahad's got to sometimes take some chances, be aggressive himself, and try and make a statement in the fight, because you can get run over with that style if you let someone win rounds and be more aggressive than you.
Dave Allen returns of his card. I spoke to Dave yesterday and he said to me for between 40 minutes and 2 hours he wasn't sure. He felt like he was paralysed after the David Price fight. When you hear stuff like that, what's your thoughts on it? Do you feel that he should be fighting still?
Certainly at this level. I mean, with all due respect to Dorian Darch, you know, he shouldn't be causing Dave Allen too many problems on Saturday night. with what Dave has had to go through to be in the ring, medically, mentally, is the right process to prove he is okay to be in the ring, right? So the British Boxing Board of Control, they basically made it impossible for him to fight on Saturday. He was driving to getting reports at the last minute. He even had an eye test, and the optician put down, instead of putting 20/20, they put down 19/20, and the board said, we can't pass this eye test because they've put 19/20. He said, well, obviously I wasn't in the opticians in 19/20, so he had to go back, get another one. When you talk about his back and stuff like that, he had to have all scans done on his back, extra brain scans, everything. So every barrier has been put up for Dave Allen. And the thing that tells me that he should be fighting is that he went through it all. He was texting me at times going, mate, they don't want me to fight. I don't know if I can do this anymore. I just said to him, mate, keep your nut down, you're training hard, just get it done. And he's got it done. So Dave Allen is not the best heavyweight in the world, but he can win a British title. He won't have any problems with Dorian Darch on Saturday. If he does, he should stop fighting. But, he's a bit of a drama queen sometimes, Dave, isn't he? You know what I mean?
Just a quick few questions away from his card because I know you're a busy man. What's the latest with Anthony Joshua and Brook-Deluca?
So very close to agreeing terms there now. My simple, strict instructions from Anthony Joshua was, get me back in the UK. And it's difficult because Whyte-Pulev wants as much money for this fight as possible. We've had offers from the Middle East, from the Far East, from Africa, from America, and for much more money than he could make to fight in the UK. But sole strict instructions from AJ, give me a homecoming fight. That's all I want to do is fight in the UK. So London, Spurs is the likely location. June will be the month. Date will be announced soon. Finalising the deal with Top Rank and Ivalo Gotsev and John Wirt. Nearly done.
You announced another fight yesterday, Joseph Parker versus Shondell Winters. Talk to me about that one, Eddie. What was the decision behind it?
Just because we looked at Joseph Parker, he's number 2 in the WBO, he needs to come back. Winters is coming off a really good win. He's top 15 in the world. He can punch. I think he's got 90% knockout rate or 95% knockout rate. I expect Joe Parker to deal with him in devastating fashion. If he doesn't, he's not going to be very happy. That card on February the 29th is an absolute horny beast of a card. Mikey Garcia against Jesse Vargas, Cal Yafai against Chocolatito, Julio Cesar Martinez against Jay Harris, Joseph Parker against Shondell Winters, Murat Gassiev to be announced shortly, Israel Madrimov to be announced shortly, plus our card. It is the best card I've seen for years, top to bottom.
Has Parker Winters just cleared the way for Usyk-Chisora? If so, when can we expect to see an announcement?
The fight is, again, virtually done. You get an announcement on that next week. All good. All good. It might be a few weeks later than first expected, but main thing is almost certain you're going to see Usyk-Chisora in London.
And finally, what's going on with Dillian Whyte? We heard Povetkin's name and Andi Ruiz Jr. What's going on there?
I think it'll be Povetkin next. Again, right now, it's a case of locking in. Good news for UK fight fans is Derek Chisora against Usyk, Dillian Whyte against Povetkin, Anthony Joshua against Pulev. All be UK fights. But we need to spread them out 1 month apart. So that's what we try and do at the moment. And we're on track. Again, terms are agreed with Povetkin, basically. So we just got to get the date and venue locked in and we're good to go. Dillian Whyte, it's taken longer for him to get back in the ring because he's been doing so much work on the physical side. He wasn't happy with his performance in Saudi. Obviously, he took the fight on short notice. He was heavy. I wanted him to fight in March. Now it looks like it could be May. So it's been a bit frustrating in that respect. But basically, the Povetkin fight's ready to go.
Eddie, I appreciate your time. Thank you for speaking to Boxing Social.
Cheers, mate.